Once again, oh man. Once again, I'm talking to you from my car so that we won't hear any disturbing sounds and I won't wake up the folks I'm staying with. This is kind of early in the morning and I don't want to bother them. It was a beautiful, beautiful morning. If you look carefully, you can see a crow on the top of that, on one of these trees. And it was just this beautiful morning and I was like, oh, it's going to be a good day. Turns out I was wrong. I had to rush a bit because I recorded my voice and did the whole recording thing quickly, and I was like, okay, I gotta get this done. And I was like, oh man, right near the end, I was like, oh, I've gotta rush. And I rushed as fast as I could. I took some pictures, and there's the crow up there on the left. And I was like, okay, I've gotta go. And I get to the parking garage and I'm trying to rush through and the machine isn't working and I'm like, oh, come on, I need to do this. And some guy yells at me, he's like, hey, come over here, I've got a 24-hour parking spot, just here you go. And it took me a moment to realize what he was saying and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So I quickly put that in my car and ran to the ferry and it was canceled. It hadn't even arrived. And I was sitting there going, okay, what do I do? When's the next ferry? They're like, well, it's 8:50 or 8 something. And I was like, okay, I'll come at that time. And then as I was walking away, they were like, nope, it's going to be the 9:50. And I was like, okay, I've got 2 hours. So I met up with some folks and I took some beautiful, beautiful pictures. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? It was a gorgeous morning. And I just sat around going, okay, I don't know what to do with myself right now. So a couple of the minions and I went out and we went looking for a place to eat. We stopped off at this nice little kind of geeky area and I bought a brownie and it was a delicious brownie for $3.25. It was a light tort, if you will. Pretty cakey, but there was a bit of brownie in there, just enough. So I enjoyed it. And we decided to go check out a diner, and this diner had so much food. I spent $16 at the diner, but it filled my plate. And I mean, I fully ate. And then I had to help another guy out because he couldn't finish his food. So, I ate his eggs and I ate a bunch of his steak and stuff like that. Oh, it was great. And we had conversations about video game culture and how it works within stuff. And they talked about how, D&D was important in their lives. And I was impressed by it. And yeah, I took a picture of the flower. And this was the place. If you ever are in Bremerton, try Sweet and Smoky Diner. They cure their own meats there. I mean, that is the coolest thing. And they are in the perfect spot to just kind of walk around and check out the other restaurants and the other places to go to. There's a theater there. There's some nice views. You could start at this diner, eat breakfast, and then go out and, do a little arcade crawl. There's about 5 or 6 arcades in that area. So you could just walk in, play some arcade games, then go out and go to another place. And it would just be a nice little day trip, Just a fun little thing to do. And here it is, just go to this place. It's a great place. They've got pecan pie, for crying out loud. Look at it. Look at it, the deliciousness that it is. Eventually we got there and we found out we missed the thing, the next ferry simply because it reached capacity. And so one guy just came back and he's like, yeah, they reached capacity. I'll go with you on the 11:10. And we're like, oh man, half my shift was over by then. But I got on to, eventually I was able to get on. We just kind of chatted or looked at our phones because we were just bored. And while on the place, we played a card game. I don't think I got a picture of it. No, I don't. But we played a card game about the unicorns, the magical candy land, the magical candy mountain, and all that, made by that creator, and he made a card game. And the card game was a lot of fun. We ended up with a tie win, 3-way tie for win, and I'm fairly certain everybody was bad with math and that I actually won, but I'm not going to get into that. We played and kind of enjoyed ourselves and talked, and to just get to the station, the convention center, we took a lift and we chatted with folks. We had a lot of fun. One part of the crew went over to a donut shop. We went down and we got this ride, and it was my first time ever using an Uber or a Lyft, so I was just like, wow, this is quite the experience. And we listened to his music, and we just kind of quickly got there. And as soon as I arrived, I just kind of sat down, started doing stuff. I started getting people in, and there was already a guy there selling stuff, so I sat in the office, or in the arcade, and I took pictures of people dressed up. Oh, isn't she a cutie? It took me forever to get a hold of, to get their attention, so I could get a picture of her. And this is the arcade. We dimmed the lights finally, so that it felt more like an arcade, and this is just what it looks like. I don't know why I was doing that weird focus thing, but it took a little while to explain how to get the lights down so that it felt more like an arcade. And once it did, it really did change the atmosphere. And then I just kind of stood outside and took pictures of random people. This guy actually makes the sounds of the Jawa. That was pretty cool. Oh, we also had a parade of all the stormtroopers and stuff just walking through. And it just kept on going and going and going. And it was kind of amazing for people to watch. This is just what I saw. As you can see, there's not a lot of cosplayers, but there are cosplayers. There's just a lot more average people. And, you know, I still saw people. I still saw hobbits. I love the feet. That's a great little addition. I descend from hobbits, by the way. If you ever seen my mom, you'd be like, yeah, she's a hobbit. She's 5 feet tall. And so it's really awkward because I'm over 6 feet tall and everybody's like, how are you two related? Are you adopted? I thought I was adopted for the longest time because I was way bigger than mom. But yeah, just walked around and took pictures. This is M. Bison and Cammy playing Street Fighter 2. So I was just like, turn around, get the picture. I actually told them, hey, go in. Street Fighter 2's right there. You got to play it. And yeah, they did. And here's another shot. Oh. Yeah, he would just do that going up and down the stairs all the time. Oh. And by the time I was done with the day, a friend of mine came over. She's my cousin. Her real name is Viska, but she's going by Claire right now. And we just walked the floor, and I showed her around, and she's just like, whoa, this is a lot to take in. And, you know, I got her to the kids area, and this guy, I saw this thing, and I was like, okay, you're going to do the butt wiggle? Okay, we're going to do the...
Keep wiggling. All right, thank you.
Yeah, that was really cool. They gave me a card. Apparently he made an entire character and is promoting it and is all proud of herself. And it was really kind of fun taking Visca with me. Claire, sorry. Because she had never seen Comic-Con before. She didn't know how to dress up. She said that when she got onto the bus, she was kind of worried that she was a little too undressed, you know. And she actually went back to her apartment, or where she was staying, and she put on more clothing, and she's like, yeah, this is appropriate for Comic-Con. And then we walked around, and I took her to the Lego place, and she's like, whoa. But we walked around, and she just saw so much. It was so hard for her to take it all in. She just kind of followed me around going, what? Whoa. And for me, it was interesting because I've already done this so many times that I walked around going, this is a lot smaller than I remember. I remember it being huge, and I couldn't grasp the thought of all this stuff. And now I'm like, oh, it's that guy. Oh, it's that guy. Oh, yeah. And I mean, I can see the end of the floor, and it just doesn't feel like this football field sized area. It just feels kind of small and nice, even though we've broken numbers of people. I actually forget what this picture is of, but it's cool. Oh, I think these are dwarves. And, we just walked around the Lego area. Voltron! And Kung Fury. We just enjoyed ourselves a little, and I acted like a tourist with her because I thought, oh, a friend of mine actually made this. This is Ben's. I guess it took him a week to make this, or a couple days anyway. And he's quite proud, and he's part of the crew that you see here. And the BB-8 and the other little Lego thing, they actually move and talk and stuff. Watch carefully. Watch that little girl's face.
The little girl is still looking at it.
Yep. Just blew her mind right there. And then this picture is amazing because I quickly walked over to them, and Visca was like, "Oh, Claire, sorry, Claire." Claire was like, "Hey, you should. I want to get their picture, but I don't know." And I just walked up to them and said, "Hey, can we get your picture?" And they were like, "Of course." And Visca, literally her knees bent, and she just had this huge face, like, "Oh my gosh, I get to take a picture of these two handsome guys, and they're dressed as characters I really like. I love this show. Oh my gosh." And, we got the picture, and she was just overwhelmed. And this is actually just something for my Cub Scouts. We were walking around, and I just saw this, and I went, my Cub Scouts would like this. I'll probably get in trouble for it, but it's actually pretty cool. And we saw the jelly bean sculpture, art. We'll say it's art. And we just walked around and enjoyed stuff. That's a Skeksis. Here he is close up. And here he is closer up with better image. And I took a shot of the Nintendo booth when it was open. To your left is a giant Kirby. And they just had people walking around with the Kirby game for people to play, because it's a portable game. They could just do this. That's really amazing. And you'll notice not a lot of people. Oh, and I got a picture of this guy, the Coolie Yampa guy. And Claire was just like, "Oh, this is amazing." And she saw the alien. She's like, "Oh, take a picture, please." And we just kept on taking pictures because she was like, "Oh my gosh, it's like Disneyland. Oh, look, it's Black Panther. Oh, look, it's Deadpool." And I was like, "There's like a million Deadpools here." "No, but I want that picture." And this is actually a friend. She's one of the minions at the gaming level. And I've seen her every day, and I didn't recognize her. She was wearing some blue face makeup, and I kind of tried to get her attention. I was like, "Oh, hey, can I get your picture?" And she's like, "Oh, yes, of course." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And then she's like, "You don't recognize me, do you?" I was like, "No." She's like, I'm you keep complimenting my hats." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." Yeah. So the cosplay takes over and they become somebody else. You don't even recognize them. You can tell who wanted to take the shots. Claire really likes Legend of Zelda. And she wanted to know who these guys were, so I just asked them and said, "Hey, can I get your picture as well?" And, we just walked around taking pictures. And this is the New Gods. And one of the comic writers was actually like, "Hey, can I get your picture?" So I kind of stood with them and took the picture as well. And these are Dalek princesses. And we just walked around checking out stuff. And apparently this is nerd advice for dating. And I just showed her around, and she kind of had her mind blown that you could just walk up to people and just be like, "Hey, can I talk? Can I get a picture? Can I get a Pepsi?" That's Pepsi Man. We saw him a couple times, and finally I was like, "Okay, I'm getting your picture." And on my way back, I saw people skating And I just went, oh, I want to get this. I want to get this shot. There we go. And I guess they were all grouped over to the right and just kind of taking turns to see who could do what. And I just walked back to the ferry after that, took some pictures, and really, that was it. I was in Seattle for a little while, and today's my last day, and tomorrow I leave. So it has been a joy, and I've really enjoyed myself. Uh, I've been kind of a tourist because I took Claire around, and I want you to know that I did do a lot of analyzation. On the ferry back, I actually met up with some people and I told them, what I was doing and stuff, and they started asking questions. So I couldn't write notes for day 2, and I actually had to write that this morning. So I'm going to get day 3 on the ferry, or I'm going to write the notes for day 3 and get those out. And I'm going to try to get everything out as fast as I can. This is way faster than any other convention I've done before, so I'm really, really happy with what I've accomplished over this weekend. Minus the 360 camera thing. I'm going to have to fix that. But get ready for some really cool things from now on. It was really cool. I got to see a lot of board games. I got to make a lot of jokes and, laughter and stuff. And people were talking about stuff. And I just got to meet people and be professorly a bit. And that was cool because I actually am setting up classes that people can take. And I don't really know how to do this, but a friend said, okay, I can set up the class for you. And then you can promote it to others and find out who wants it. And that's kind of the process I'm going through right now. I am going to be a online professor for various colleges and high schools and maybe a middle school or two. And I don't know how to do any of that, but that's what I'm doing. So thank you very much, and bye now.